All this talk about transfer portal quarterbacks and the top names in there. Look, I got my guy. I just hope he enters the portal. Jaden Rashada. Happy Christmas Eve, and welcome on into PHNX Sun Devils, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Branded Bills. Head to brandedbills.com. Use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm Erik Ruby, your passenger princess, driving while Anthony Totri is away, celebrating his much-earned vacation. Got the dumb man behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Shane Beef, he'll be joining me on screen here throughout the show, on and off. But of course, all of you are here in the chat, hanging out with us on a Tuesday. So Sharon, what's up, Dad? Robert, we got Matthew, we got the green M&M, we have Dennis, we got the whole crew hanging out here talking transfer portal quarterbacks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. I've got a lengthy list of transfer portal quarterbacks that we'll be talking about today. We'll be off tomorrow and on Christmas, back on Friday with another 1 p.m. live show. That one we will begin to prep and focus on the Sun Bowl against the ACC champions. But until we get there, of course, all eyes are on next year for the Sun Devils after Sam Leavitt enters the transfer portal. And who's next is the real question. But before we get to who's next, I kind of want to talk about Sam really quickly, because obviously the exit with Sam was somewhat tumultuous with Arizona State fans. And in general, I think that it has aged a little better for Sam as time has gone on. Now, trust me, we've all vented our frustrations with, the leadership part of it and showing up to the banquet, which we had Ben Coleman on, Arizona State offensive lineman, who he talked about it and gave a great perspective on that. That's up on our YouTube channel right now if you missed that a couple of weeks ago. But I kind of want to open this up to the chat, open this up to the Deli Man. Now that we've seen so many quarterbacks enter the portal. I mean, the list today, I'm not even covering everybody, but the list today is extensive of how many quarterbacks are in the portal. Do we feel like that's making Sam's decision age a little bit better, Shane? Because at first it was like, okay, there's a couple of guys who are jumping in there, but now it feels like if you are a quarterback and you are, somebody who maybe could transfer, a lot of the times it seems like these guys are now.
The Sam Leavitt situation in general is weird, but now it feels almost weirder, the lack of comment from him and his team in general. Does this change anything with how many people are entering? No, because this is the world that we've seen. I mean, obviously it's gotten even crazier. I saw, I think it was somebody from On3 reported of how the top of the market of quarterbacks is now seeking around $5 million as opposed to $3 million last year. So it's just going to keep changing. We expect a lot of quarterbacks. I think the difference in this year is the amount of high profile quarterbacks. But that also just might be because of like name recognition and such. Does it change the situation? No, I don't think it does at all. I think that, especially with Kenny, we've known what he established, the culture here he established, and you have to be 2 feet in or you're not, you're out the door. And I remember when the banquet stuff happened and we talked about it. We said it's good that he's not bending to a star player. He won't bend the rules. He won't change. He won't color outside the lines for a star player. And I don't see him changing that either.
Would you take Sam back if he goes if he goes back and says, look, I thought about it, I entered the portal, this is where my heart wants to be. would you take Sam back instead of going in the portal and trying to find maybe one of these other names that we'll talk about? I don't think that's likely, but I think it's an interesting thought.
I don't think there's a chance. Like I just don't. No, it goes back to what I just said. Like if you're going to have this rule, but it's not even a rule because it's a belief. That's why like I think there's as close to a 0% chance as you can get because the 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 rule is what Kenny believes. He believes that he wants people that want to be here. He wants people that want to be here and work harder than anybody in the country while having the most fun. And it didn't seem like this team was having that much fun when Sam didn't show up at the banquet. And I just that would shock me.
Yeah. I mean, it would shock me as well. I mean, I would be floored if he comes back here. I am interested because a lot of people still believe that Sam's the best quarterback in the transfer portal. And despite all of these names that are jumping in there and that are kind of flooding this, I think there's an argument for it. I don't know if Sam is outright the best. Maybe Sam has the most high end potential out of all the quarterbacks that are in the portal, but there are some really big names. And I want to get things started off here with maybe the most contentious name out of all of it. And honestly, I'm not going to say I don't understand it, but I do think that this kid is getting sold a little short. Let's talk about hometown kid Dylan Raiola. What a weird situation for him because look, I think as far as quarterbacks go, he is somebody that can sit in the pocket. He's able to make reads, throw. He definitely plays a little bit more like a traditional quarterback than some of the QBs that Kenny has had, specifically Sam Leavitt recently, who's going to use his legs as a massive, massive weapon. That's not the type of quarterback that Raiola is. At Nebraska this year, 2,000 yards in the air, 18 touchdowns to 6 interceptions for him. He's 6'3", 230. And look, this is a guy that does have ties to the Valley. Now, look, he's not a rushing threat at all, which might take him out of the conversation for who Kenny would really want because he loves to have that dual threat. I mean, obviously, you have to factor into account that sacks take away yards, but he finished the season this year with negative 87 rushing yards. Now, I understand you're going to get sacked, but to not really make enough positive plays for it to be a positive, I don't know if he fits into Kenny's system, but there were a lot of guys, Shane, and a lot of fans who looked at this team, and one of their main problems with Sam Leavitt was, man, he's just not staying in the pocket and making reads and doing what a traditional quarterback does. I do think you get that from Raiola, but does it get outweighed by maybe the off-field antics or from the fact that he hasn't stayed at a school for more than a year or maybe the price tag? Is there a clear read on this situation for you, Shane? Is this a guy that you have a strong opinion about, or is it kind of like, well, we'll just kind of have to wait and see what he demands and what situation he falls into?
I just kind of hate like how polarizing college students can be now. Like that kind of sucks to me. Sure, the whole situation with him is weird, and the only reason why people have this stigma about him is because of the weird dress-up game he plays where he mimics Mahomes.
Weird.
And it's weird, and 100% it's strange. But it's not like he's speeding 100 miles an hour in a race car. It's not like down like a Georgia defensive lineman. It's
Well,
not like
he's cosplaying like a bad quarterback. If you're gonna do it about anybody, you might as well be Patrick Mahomes, right?
But like, it does suck that a kid can just be completely hated and thrown to the side because of the antics. And I get it. Like the way that these students are being treated now with their money, there's conversations to be had about how professional they have to act and whatnot, but it is weird. Let's talk about how he plays as a quarterback. Let's talk about the actual like the on-field product. He's talented. He's got really good arm talent.
Yeah.
And sure, the legs aren't a threat, but he does move well in the pocket, and he does have really good pocket presence. He's played against some good competition, being in the Big Ten. He has played in some big games. And I think that with the right situation, he could be a really, really good quarterback. If a Georgia State 3-star recruit cosplayed as Patrick Mahomes, it would probably go viral once on SportsCenter and everyone would be done with it. There's a reason why everyone everyone talks about him all the time because he was a 5-star recruit and he was one of the most coveted names in that recruiting class. And then he started doing weird things. Eh, but there's a reason for that, and sure, that doesn't end up mattering until like you get to the league. But he clearly has a lot of talent, and
Absolutely.
I think he's had a couple of pretty solid years in Nebraska.
Yeah, I think he's been really good, actually. I don't think he's been like all-time great, but clearly good enough to be somebody that's going to demand attention. Now, I don't know if he's the dual threat kind of guy that I'm going to go out there and pay a lot of money for. So I think a lot of that does kind of depend on how does this guy who has jumped around from schools to school, which I think is definitely a criticism, but that's also something that Sam Leavitt has done. And we saw what he did here at Arizona State. You kind of have the secret weapon here in Kenny Dillingham. You have the guy that's going to be able to kind of turn any quarterback into gold, or at least that's what it feels like. So anybody that you see play that has potential, you can see them reaching that here at Arizona State. To me, there are a lot of other names that I would probably prefer because of the dual threat aspect to it. But I do think as far as pure arm talent goes, he is one of the better quarterbacks in the portal. He made some really impressive throws. He has a really strong arm as well, but the accuracy doesn't wane when he goes to that deep ball. I think that's somebody that this offense could work with. Now, with any transfer portal quarterback, but I think with this one specifically, you would really need to up your wide receiver core because you don't have that dual threat part of it, even though he can maneuver in the pocket. I think you're going to need to up those threats at wide receiver. Look, Dylan Raiola is not the only name we're going to be talking about today. We have a lot to dive into and a couple more of my favorites that I'm excited to get into. We'll keep it rolling on PHNX Sun Devils on the other side of our first break. Around this time of year, you're spending a lot of money, so why not have a checking account that helps you save money instead? That's where the MyStyle checking account comes in with Mountain America Credit Union. It's a checking account with built-in benefits just for you. I'm talking restaurant deals, telehealth access, mobile phone protection, loan rate discounts, identity protection, offers on travel and events, and so much more. You can make MyStyle your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union, a place that also prioritizes Arizona State University, a proud sponsor, and you can take your finances to new heights with guidance from the place that donates $250 to support university athletics for every field goal made this year, provided $20,000 in scholarships to local student athletes each year. Well, for brand new shoes to community members in need. Mountain America is dedicated to guiding members and communities forward. Learn more at macu.com/ASU. Insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans on approved credit. Look, we are getting to that time of year. The Waste Management Open is just around the corner. And this year, join our friends at Don Julio, who are returning to the Valley February 3rd through the 8th and taking over the Waste Management Phoenix Open. They're offering a range of fun experience and activities, including their setup at the Fairway House above the 12th hole, where you can get a margarita on draft, take a photo with the Don Julio truck, and you can even get some complimentary water, which might be the most underrated part about all of this. Make sure you got to stay hydrated in that Arizona sunshine. And if you've had a couple Don Julio margaritas that you've thrown back as well, keep an eye out as there will be more announcements to follow on how Don Julio is helping you make the most out of your Waste Management Phoenix Open experience. And as a little secret, there's a chance you'll run into members of our PHNX crew there as well. So if you're planning on attending the tournament this year, make sure you visit our friends at Don Julio across the venue and tell them that PHNX sent you. And while you're getting sent, maybe at home, it's because of Pure Edibles. Sent to the moon, sent to outer space, maybe sent to sleep, maybe uplifted, maybe relaxed, whatever it is, Pure Edibles has you covered. Not only founded in Arizona and available in 130 dispensaries statewide. By the way, all three founders, I don't think we've mentioned this, or at least I haven't, all three founders are ASU alumni, by the way, but they're candy just tastes good. Their edibles taste good. Their gummies, their kicks, which is their version of Starburst chews, and hard candies as well. They offer all sorts of different types of edibles that tell you exactly how you're going to feel. No indica sativa hybrid. No. It's sleepy. It's relaxed. It's uplifted. It's everything you need to know before indulging on one of these experiences. Plus, right now you can check out their new collab with Mother Road, which is a Pure Edibles vape, and it tastes just like Arizona's favorite IPA. So if you're in Arizona, swing by select local dispensaries, grab your Tower Station AIO from Noble Road. Cheers to happy hour all day, every single day. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for continuing to hang out with us as we get closer to Christmas and the holiday season continues here. We appreciate all of you, especially all of you who also are becoming members and diehards. Right now, you can become a PHNX diehard, get access to our exclusive diehard Discord, plus other things like 20% off merch, 20% off events, a free shirt when you sign up. But especially for ASU fans, becoming a diehard is perfect for the Discord. You get inside information. You get all sorts of great conversations. I even asked our Discord about their dream scenario and their stayaways and everything in between. So let's continue to dive into that. You can go to gophnx.com/join to become a die hard today. This is one of the names that we heard a lot of people say stay away from, and that would be Jackson Arnold, who is definitely somebody who I'm good off of as a quarterback, but kind of the opposite of what we saw over with Dylan Raiola is this is a guy who can use his legs on the ground a little bit, but he's not somebody whose stats are going to impress you. 1,300 yards in the air, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only threw the ball 215 times this season as well. This is not a guy that would be anywhere near the top of my list. Shane, what about you?
You know, he reminds me of Bo Nix without the upside, which is horrible to say, and it might just be because he went to Auburn and he's 6'1", but I mean, he's something. They're just, I don't know. I take that back because he is. No, I don't really take that much back.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one. I listen, I'll trust Kenny really on anything. But as far as quarterbacks, he's got that unique blend of not a ton of like production that you're in love with, and also not a ton of like that potential upside as well. I'm good. We're good. We got Dylan Raiola over here, Chief. Don't need that. I think this next name. Go ahead.
The green M&M saying, here, let me get myself on screen. Sorry. The green M&M saying that he was like, so Bo Nix sucked. Well, Bo Nix did kind of stink at Auburn. Everyone hated him. And then Kenny got his hands on him. But you saw the upside. You saw the play against, what was that, Alabama, where he whoopsie dude spun around 4 times in the backfield and threw one of the greatest passes you've ever seen. Yeah, it is. Yeah, sure. Bo Nix stunk.
Well, I'm interested in this next one from you, Shane, because this is somebody who's not played a lot of college football, but is in a lot of people's dream target list when it comes to transfer quarterbacks. Notre Dame's Kenny Minchey. Obviously not somebody who's played a lot of football. He did lose the starting job over at Notre Dame this year, but is one of the highest ranked quarterbacks in the transfer portal. It would be I don't want to say a risk, but it would definitely be a little bit different than what a lot of people are penning as the right move for Arizona State at quarterback, which is get a quarterback who you know is going to be a really good bridge gap QB before Fetty is ready, somebody who has experience, who can come in and try to win now. This is kind of the opposite, which is you're taking a big swing on potential, a good swing, but not somebody who has proven that they can play at the college football level actually on the field yet.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to take a guy like this in, though. Like, I get the bridge quarterback thing, but to me, Kenny's just going to want to find a guy that's going to help him win right now. Like,
Sure.
and I don't think it really matters. I think whoever is what whoever Kenny sees as the best fit for this Arroyo offense is who he's going to go with.
So you wouldn't care that it's somebody who hasn't really played a lot of college football yet?
No.
What if the price tag was the same for somebody who has played? Like, would you rather have Raiola or Minchey?
Price tag. I would rather have whoever Kenny thinks fits.
Okay,
the best.
But I'm asking you. I'm not asking Kenny.
I know, and that's my answer, because if I'm putting myself in his shoes, I would probably say that. Yeah, I don't know what Minchey would look like in this offense.
I think maybe it also comes down to price tag too. as well, because we know that this team needs a lot to be filled from the offensive line, from the wide receiver room. They're losing a lot of talent on defense. If you're deciding between two guys and one's demanding a lower price, that might be the guy that you go with if you feel generally confident in both of them. Because I agree with you. It's like whoever Kenny wants, but I also think that Kenny could really do anything. I mean, nobody thought Sam Leavitt was going to be the starting quarterback here. Like, nobody thought that Sam Leavitt was going to do what he did.
Yeah.
If we talked about Sam Leavitt the offseason before he transferred here, he would probably be on everybody's what the hell, who is that list, rather than get this guy, right? So I think that's an important topic to keep in mind here, is that really any of these quarterbacks I could see working. It might come down to who's the best bang for your buck. And Kenny Minchey is a blue chip guy. He's coming from Notre Dame. I don't think he's going to demand a small amount of money, but I do think a player like Dylan Raiola or some of the other names that we're going to talk about, and maybe the name that I'm going to talk about next, is going to demand a little bit more than him, simply because they actually have production. I would say the Kenny and Kenny combo is also pretty interesting just from a name perspective. But I'd be intrigued with Kenny Minchey. I could definitely find myself being talked into it, especially if it allows you to maybe put some resources towards the rest of the roster. Like I said, with any quarterback, you're going to need some wide receiver talent to come in as well. But this next guy is a name that I haven't heard talked about a ton with Arizona State. I really like his tape. I like what he can do, especially when it comes to throwing the deep ball as well. He is probably the best dual threat quarterback that we've talked about so far today. Now, I think we will talk about a couple who are definitely in a better spot with him when it comes to being a dual threat quarterback. But Aiden Chiles over at Michigan State, junior, 6'3", 225 this year in the air, 1,392 yards, 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions as well. On the ground, 81 carries for 227 yards. Not a ton of yards per carry, but he did run in 6 touchdowns, which I find fascinating. This is a little bit more of the prototypical Kenny Dillingham quarterback than what we've talked about really with anybody so far, because he does have the legs to move around. He's a little bit of a bigger build as well at 6'3", like I mentioned, but he has the arm talent, all the arm talent in the world. And he also has played against really good competition as well. He to me is somebody who will certainly, yes, demand a price tag in the portal. I think all these quarterbacks will. He strikes me as somebody who you might find the best bang for your buck with him from somebody who's played at a power 4 level, who has shown that he's got all the talent in the world from an arm strength perspective and with his legs as well. I like him. I don't know if he's like my top 3, Shane, but I certainly could see Arizona State finding a player like him and being like, that could be our guy.
Just turn on the tape from the Indiana game, and it'll get you excited about this kid. Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, talk to Clint about him in the Oregon State commit. This would I would love this. I would a development guy like this. I think is probably where I would go, because again, I don't want a bridge. Like, then if you get a bridge quarterback, you're picking up Drew Pine. I don't want Drew Pine. Not actually, but you know what I mean. Like, you're kind of just saying like, oh, we'll get a guy that's good, who we know probably only has 1 year, or we know probably isn't going to be good enough to hold off Fetty. Then why would you do that? So yeah, I would love a piece like this where, okay, if this doesn't work, you can go to option B, where you just start Fetty. So Chiles is really exciting. This kid is really fun to watch.
I think this is, out of anybody that we'll talk about today, and I know there's some smaller school guys as well that maybe fall into this category, but I think with the smaller school guys, the amount of production that they've put up puts them in a little bit of a different category, and I think that they do demand a bigger price tag. I really feel like this might be the player where it falls perfectly in the middle as far as balance goes, right? You've seen on-field production from him, and you've seen it at a high level on a Power 4 conference, but not a crazy amount to where he's in the portal and he's being talked about as somebody who's going to demand the highest price tag. You can still take him a little bit older as well. He is somebody who is a true junior this year, will be a true senior next year, but has all the potential in the world. I really do think that this is maybe the type of quarterback that they'll go after, where you can see the talent, you can see the athleticism. He definitely fits the mold probably better than any other quarterback we've talked about today.
Oh, we lost you, Erik. We lost your sound. Oh, well, call back in. We'll get you back on here in a second. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? We'll get Erik back in here in a second. Drop your favorite transfer portal target. It doesn't even have to be a quarterback. It can just be your favorite person that people are talking about, or anything. Let's see. Got him back?
The powers that be,
There
can
you
you
are.
hear me?
Yep.
Powers that be said, stop. You can't give Kenny another Michigan State quarterback. He'll
Yeah.
have too much motion. I really, really enjoy watching this kid's tape, and I think he's certainly an option for Arizona State, and I think he might be one that doesn't demand a really big price tag. This next one, I don't think we need to spend too much time on, because by all accounts, it seems likely that he's going to be following his head coach to Oklahoma State. But I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Drew Mestemaker out of North Texas. A numbers machine, and definitely one of the better true passers that we have seen enter the portal. Now, it's not official that he'll be going to Oklahoma State to follow his head coach there, but threw for over 4,000 yards. He was the number one in the country as far as yards in the air this year at 4,129, 31 touchdowns to 7 interceptions as well, which is just insane. Plus, he was a positive on the ground, 55 carries, 71 yards. Again, you have to take into account sacks, but taking into account sacks with a couple of these other quarterbacks, with the amount of arm talent that this guy has, I would be salivating at the chance to get him in Tempe. I just don't personally think that is going to happen. I think if he is going to transfer to the Big 12, it would be to Oklahoma State to kind of continue the system that he's been in with his former and maybe future head coach. But this guy has maybe the best arm talent, just pure throwing wise, in the country. I know a lot of people will look at the fact that he played for North Texas and think to themselves like, hey, that's not really the best competition, but it means something when these non-power 5 or now power 4 quarterbacks enter the portal and everybody wants them, right? And we'll talk about Byrum Brown later in the show too, where that is something that it kind of proves that it doesn't matter if you're playing at the G5 level. You still have the talent. The talent is the talent, and maybe no better pure passer in the country than Drew Mestemaker. Again, also has the build, 6'4", 211 pounds, and he's young as well. I mean, this is a guy who's a true freshman this year, which is just insane when you really think about it. I'm not going to spend too much time on him because I do think that it'd be a pretty long shot for him to end up at Arizona State. What I am really excited to do is to get into 2 other names from guys at non-power 4 schools that I truly think would be fantastic fits here, and honestly might just be my favorite picks. We'll get into those, plus more transfer portal quarterbacks as we're getting into that season 2 days before Christmas on PHNX. Sun Devils will be back on the other side of this break. It's sports season all the time, and the best part about being a sports fan is experiencing it in person, especially now with Arizona State men's and women's basketball. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to Sun Devil fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Incredibly easy to use, plus the Game Time guarantee means you'll trust that you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so you see what you pay. That's my personal favorite part, because I've had so many experiences before Game Time where I think I'm going to be able to afford something. I go to check out and boom, there's hundreds of dollars of fees that I had no idea I was getting hit with. That's why I love Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying Sun Devil tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. day. And also today, you could be saving money on your energy bill with our friends over at APS. Just before I hopped on here, I used my smart thermostat over at APS. It was super easy. All I had to do is pull out my phone, but you can do it on any device, connect to the internet, and boom, you can adjust your smart thermostat from anywhere to take advantage of lower cost off-peak hours. Plus, it's not just about saving money, it's about saving time and convenience, whether you're hanging out with family and friends this holiday season and maybe it's a little chilly, maybe it's a little bit too warm, maybe you need some airflow, you want to turn your AC on. You can do all of that without having to get up and leave and interrupt the flow of the function. Or if you're just being lazy, you're laying in bed, maybe you're a little cold, boom, turn the heat on. You don't even have to get up and do anything except for pull out your phone and connect to your smart thermostat over at APS. And right now, APS customers can get a new smart thermostat from as low as $0 at aps.com/sale. That's aps.com/sale. Shipping and taxes not included. And yes, other restrictions, they do apply. Don't restrict yourself if you find yourself in a serious situation, whether it's an injury or an accident. Make sure you do your research and make sure you contact the husband and wife law team first. Write down this number right now, 602-783-8841. That's 602-783-8841. That's the number for Mark and Alexis Breyer's team, which brings hundreds of years of combined trial experience with multiple certified professionals and specialists in personal injury and wrongful death. The practice is 100% dedicated to injury and wrongful death and focuses primarily here and only here in the Valley. You can cancel your fee agreement at any time for any reason. You'll receive at least as much in your pocket as they receive for their fee, even if they have to reduce their attorney's fee to do so. You may speak with one of their lawyers as often as you choose about anything that you would like to discuss. Plus, they're always going to be upfront with you about the strengths and weaknesses of your case. If you had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website. Hey there, everybody. Visit their website at the link in our show notes. Always love our friends over at the husband and wife law team. Look, I have been chomping at the bit to talk about our next two quarterbacks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, support the passenger princess as the driver is out of town, and the deli man as well, cooking up sandwiches behind the Mac. Per usual, I got to get Colton Joseph on this team, man. I am fascinated with the idea of Colton Joseph rocking the maroon and gold. The Old Dominion quarterback, 6'2", 200 pounds, true sophomore, threw for 2,624 yards in the air, 21 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Really solid numbers in the air. But guess what? You go to the ground. How about 158 carries for over 1,000 yards? Now, look, he played for Old Dominion. I get it. But he also played against a team like Indiana this year. And on the ground, he was an absolute menace. This is the absolute prototypical Kenny Dillingham quarterback. He's big. He can run. He can throw. He has great deep ball accuracy. He is not afraid to get into the mud. And he made some throws this year. I'm not going to say that he's a better quarterback than Sam Leavitt. I'm not going to say that because we've seen Sam Leavitt help lead a team to a Big 12 championship. We've seen Sam Leavitt hit some pretty high heights. He made some throws this year that I've never seen Sam make. And now, again, I get it. That's not exactly something that means he's automatically a better quarterback. But I do think that there's something to be said about the control on the deep ball. And I think some of these Old Dominion wide receivers as well are really good. I mean, I would like to rob Old Dominion of their skill position players and their quarterback, to be completely honest with you. I mean, they only lost to Indiana 27-14, just so everybody is aware. But as far as Colton Joseph goes, like, he's the type of guy that I think could absolutely eat with Marcus Arroyo and Kenny Dillingham's system. I think he is seriously the prototypical one. And I believe Trey Brown III, who was their leading receiver with 38 receptions and 762 yards, is also in the transfer portal as well. But they have a trio of receivers that were making honestly insane grabs, which I do think made Colton Joseph look really good with some of these deep balls as well. He wasn't just always placing them in the right spot. There were some really good catches from Trey Brown III, Ja'Cory Thomas, and Naeem Abdul-Rahim Gladding. All-time name. Those are three guys that all caught for over 660 yards this season. And that's a total of 15 touchdowns between the three of them as well. getting one of those guys to go with Colton Joseph, to me, I don't want to say best case scenario because there are some really talented quarterbacks in there, but Shane, I've been on the Colton Joseph train for a while. There's another quarterback that actually played Old Dominion in their bowl game that we're going to talk about next, who also put up pretty insane stats, but this looks like create a quarterback in a video game. Like, this looks like a guy like, oh, I just want a guy who's really good at passing, really good at running, making big plays, and also being physical. I think he would eat here at Arizona State.
Yeah, I mean, you love this guy.
I love this guy.
What's their mascot again?
The Monarchs.
There you go. Now you're a Colton Joseph truther.
Yeah. I mean, they're a good team this year, man. They're 10-3. That's second in the Sun Belt. Like, they played some good competition. I just think when you watch a quarterback, there are certain times that they make plays and it feels like it's not translatable. It feels like it may be a little bit of luck. This kid kept on just making plays. I'm like, you're just damn good. He's just a damn good quarterback wherever he goes, even if it's not Arizona State. I'm going to be watching Colton Joseph because I truly do believe that he has all the talent in the world to be a draft pick, to be a high draft pick as far as the quarterback position goes. And again, he's still pretty young as well. He'll be going into his true junior season. So obviously he's not one of these quarterbacks that's been around for like 6 years in college football and just ends up at Old Dominion. 2-year starter as well. You're right. Chris in the chat, 2-year starter. He's somebody that last year in 2024 threw for 1,627 yards as well. So you've seen a little bit of improvement year in and year out. He also rushed for 647 yards on 114 carries last year at Old Dominion. Stayed there for 2 years, and now he's, ready to go up to the big times, to go up into the Power 4 level. So is this next guy, USF quarterback Byrum Brown. Great name. Don't know if I've ever heard of a Byrum before, but another quarterback who is absolutely a dual threat. If you thought Colton Joseph's stats were impressive, wait until you hear Byrum Brown. Threw for over 3,100 yards. It's top 25 in the country. Also threw for 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Now as a true senior, but also on the ground, broke the 1,000 mark, 175 carries for 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. On the ground, he is not just getting yards, he's getting them the hard way. He's an extremely physical runner at 6'3", 231. He's a guy that I also think could eat the next level. Shane, I'll ask you a simple question. If you could choose one between Colton Joseph and Byrum Brown, same price tag, who are you bringing to Tempe and why?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young?
I would probably say Colton Joseph. Just because he just feels more like a Kenny guy.
Okay. What's the difference? I mean, they both run, they both throw, they both have a strong arm as well.
Yeah, but
I mean, technically, Byrum Brown had a better productive season.
But Byrum Brown's more pure runner, and
I agree with that.
Colton Joseph is more creator. He just feels more like I don't know. He feels more like a Kenny guy.
Yeah, I think with Byrum, I think it's really hard to not call him a passer as a quarterback. He threw for over 3,150 yards this year. And he's certainly somebody that has the arm talent. He can make the throws. I will say that in kind of classic Sam Leavitt fashion, which maybe plays into his favor because we've seen it work here, he did resort to the run first quite a bit in what I watched of him. And was a little bit quick. I mean, but here's the thing. Quick to do something that he was pretty damn good at, hitting over 1,000 yards on 175 carries. It was almost 6 yards per carry and 14 touchdowns for him. So I don't really blame him for resulting to the run. Plus, I feel like still being able to rack up over 3,000 yards in the air just kind of it puts away just the runner tag, which I don't think you were giving to him. I think you were just comparing those two. But I do think that he's somebody who could lean into the passing and the arm a little bit more. But I wouldn't be mad at either of these two. These two might be 1 and 2 as far as quarterbacks go for me.
You just love a guy who can run.
I do. But I like a guy who can run, and like I don't just want you to run. And I think Sam is a really good quarterback, but what we saw this year is that the besides maybe the tech game, the ability to make these quick reads in the pocket and to deliver accurate throws all the time, I think was a little bit lacking. We saw that especially early in the season against Mississippi State on a road environment. These guys have shown that they do have the arm talent. Again, I think Sam Leavitt is going to still be a better quarterback than them when you're going into the portal. But as far as guys that Kenny can mold and can maybe fit into the offense and make a couple throws that maybe Sam couldn't, I think both of these guys could do that.
Yeah. How much is that? How much is that on the staff though that we talked about? Like,
I hear you. I hear you.
so I don't know. I am confident whoever comes in here will be a good choice, because as I said, I think the most important thing is somebody that Kenny really wants, and it sounds like Kenny's going to get a guy that he really wants.
Yeah. Which, I mean, how could you not? I mean, that's also the thing. Like they're going to be a destination. And Will in the chat says over his 2 seasons that he started, obviously 2 of 4 years, with some of those being cut short with injuries. Byrum Brown has 61 touchdowns in the air to 19 interceptions and 31 touchdowns on the ground. Plus, he went up against top-tier teams. This season alone, season opener against number 25 Boise State was a rout, 34-7. They beat number 13 Florida on the road in week 2, 18-16. Obviously, they lost to Miami on the road. That was a blowout. But they also beat North Texas, so they beat Mestemaker as well. That was a blowout too. Like they played some good competition. They beat Old Dominion. They lost to Old Dominion in their bowl game. I don't believe that Byrum Brown or Colton Joseph played in that game. It was the backup quarterbacks who played there as well. So, he is somebody that certainly has the talent, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is the guy, one of those two that Kenny wants. Interestingly enough, there are 3 quarterbacks who are in the Big 12, 3 quarterbacks that Kenny has faced in his time in the Big 12 that are also in the transfer portal. What about one of them? Would they be good options for Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham? We'll talk about Josh Hoover, Brendan Sorsby, Rocco Becht on the other side of our final break. This is an important message from PHNX Sun Devils. This holiday season, get what you really want at Fascinations. At Fascinations, they've got everything to make your nights merry and bright, but let's be honest, man, walking into adult shop, it's just not for everybody. You don't need the weird eye contact, the awkward checkout, or the, is this for you? Look, no, now you can buy online and pick up in store. It's fast, easy, and totally discreet. You could shop online at fascinations.net or visit one of their 12 locations in Arizona, because what happens under the mistletoe stays under the mistletoe. With Fascinations, your one-stop shop for pleasure this holiday season. Use promo code PHNX30 at checkout to receive 30% off your order. That's PHNX30 for 30% off your order at fascinations.net. Fascinations, it's naughty list approved. Also, if you need to spend some money on whatever you want to spend your money on, you can check out Desert Financial Credit Union, because for more than 86 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that just make lives better. And want to hear about a financial solution that they've been offering for a long time? Not as long as I've been with DFCU, but about as long as I've been here at PHNX. When you open up a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. That's right, $200. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. And of course, Desert Financial has you covered with the checkings, the savings accounts, the mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. But my personal favorite part about it, as somebody who has used Desert Financial Credit Union his whole life, is how friendly everybody is at their locations. If you ever have any questions, whether they're simple, whether they're complex, they are here to help you with a smile on your face. So once again, get a smile on your face when you open up a free checking account online. $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 today. And you know me, I'm always repping team gear. It's just who I am. I am repping my teams through and through in my pajamas and my clothes. Whatever I'm doing, I'm wearing Rally House. And you can check out Rally House, the go-to shop for all your favorite local Arizona team gear, with tens of thousands of products to shop from. They've got brick and mortar locations in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale. That Tempe location, that's the one that Totri and I did a show from in the middle of the season, and it was great to be surrounded by all that ASU gear. But it's not just your shirts and your hats, but they've got jerseys, drinkware, signage, coolers, socks. Hell, they even have sunscreen. And they only carry Arizona sports teams too, so make sure that you go check out Rally House online, scroll through the hundreds of pages to find something new and unique that matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location, shop their entire product assortment online at www.rallyhouse.com today. That's www.rallyhouse.com today. Over 80 of you hanging out with us on the Christmas Eve here on PHNX Sun Devils. Thank you all so much for spending your holiday season with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member today. Help support the show. We are here for you all the time, except for tomorrow and on Christmas. We'll be off Friday. We'll be back talking about that Sun Bowl. We'll be previewing it. I think we've put it on long enough. Here's the thing. I feel like, and this isn't quarterback related, this is Erik Ruby related. I think I need to get like a hat or a shirt or something, hopefully for only a couple more days, because I'm getting better, that just says I'm wearing sunglasses because I'm concussed. That I just feel like is something that I need to put out there. I just maybe need like a walking sign, or maybe we need like a graphic on the screen, because I'm tired of explaining it. But you know what I'm not tired of? Talking about quarterbacks, talking about transfer portal targets for your Arizona State Sun Devils. Let's round things out with a couple Big 12 quarterbacks, and then Shane and I will each give you our favorite and maybe most likely and maybe our least favorite quarterback that we've talked about today. Rocco Becht. I'd like to get there first. I had him slated last, but I do think that Rocco Becht is maybe the least interesting conversation to have here. The same with Mestemaker. I feel like Rocco Becht follows his head coach. Now, there is some talk from the Green M&M in the chat saying that his dad is the head coach of the Battlehawks, and that he wants to go close to home in, I believe it was Missouri, which I could definitely see. I mean, I think family is certainly something that drives a lot of these transfers, and when people want to go close to home, a lot of the time it's because they are missing their family. I do think that Rocco, though, following Matt Campbell, going to Penn State, big time program, big time money, big time opportunity, to me just kind of feels too good to pass up. I don't know if Dillingham, you disagree at all with my assessment of Rocco Becht, but I think even if he was in the transfer portal, I think I'd still take a couple of the other names that we've seen here. I don't know if he fits a Kenny system as much, but it doesn't feel like it's really going to be a choice.
Rocco?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't think that a lot of these Big 12 quarterbacks are going to stay in the conference. I don't think any of them are, actually.
Really? So let's talk about the other two then. Brendan Sorsby. Are you talking NFL?
Sorsball is SEC bound.
Yeah? Where do you think?
I don't know. It just feels like no. He's either Big 10 or SEC. That's for damn sure.
I kind of feel like Tech. Low key.
No. I would hate that.
I'd hate it too, but like, doesn't it kind of make sense?
Maybe. Blood money.
Yeah, I think Sorsby. I think Sorsby.
You know what's crazy? He's the number one quarterback in the portal.
Sorsby?
Yeah.
He had a great year, man. He had a really good year. Dual threat quarterback, great arm. He was a Heisman candidate for a little bit. Obviously, Cincinnati kind of fell off of a cliff. Apparently, this is breaking news, or maybe not breaking news, according to Aaron Ferguson, but Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend transferred.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I understand where all of the speculation is coming from. I just don't like the fit.
Why?
Because the way their offense operates, it's almost like Ohio State, where you don't need to spend all that money on a quarterback, which is such a stupid thing to say in college football now.
You don't need to. That doesn't mean they're not going to.
Yeah.
I think it also could maybe come down to like how do they play in the playoffs here, right? I mean, I guess the portal will be open during it, so maybe you can't make a decision based off of that. But Baron Morton been fine.
Baron Morton's going to wet himself.
Yeah, probably. Will Howard had wet himself a couple of times, but showed flashes. I think they want to keep this thing rolling, man. I think they want to go into next season as a preseason top 5, and
for sure.
Obviously they're going to spend a lot of money in a lot of
what
places.
Happened to the Will Hammond hype?
Sorry, yeah. Well, Did I say Will Hammond? Who did I say?
You said Will Howard.
Will Howard. Not Will Howard. He's not playing quarterback for Texas Tech. Well, I think that there's maybe still hype there, but I think the book was out a little bit on Hammond once he played a little bit more. And if you have the chance to choose Hammond or Sorsby, you choose Sorsby, right? I mean, Texas Tech's not in the position to develop right now. They want to go and win a national championship.
For sure. And Tech, like, I get they have a ton of money, but you are going to have to shell out for Sorsby. You're going to have to shell out $5 million.
That is true, yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't have the money. They totally do, and they totally could be willing and probably are willing to pay that. But for me, it just makes more sense to put that money somewhere else when you have a guy who you think you trust at least, or I don't know.
Well, apparently Will Hammond tore his ACL, so they're gonna get a quarterback. They're gonna go big fish hunting. I think they're gonna get a quarterback.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I think Sorsby at Tech feels like not just like, oh yeah, that could happen. It feels like that's probably, if you could bet on it, the favorite, which unfortunately you might be able to bet on it soon. I could see him going to the SEC, getting a big check for one of these SEC schools. Honestly, he also said he was going to keep his name in evaluation for the draft. And if he gets some really good early returns,
Sorsball's not getting drafted early.
I don't love the quarterback class this year. That's all I'll say. I don't love it, but I think Sorsby to Texas Tech is a good fit. I don't think Sorsby ends up here. I don't think that ASU wants to spend that type of money on their quarterback this year. Aaron says, I would love ASU getting Josh Hoover. How would you feel about Josh Hoover, who certainly is one of the more talented QBs in the portal, a former, obviously, TCU quarterback who's looking elsewhere?
No.
Is it because he can't really run?
No. He's really good. He's got obviously pretty ridiculous arm talent. Sure, that team was kind of a nightmare this year, especially defensively. He was always on the field, but he also did not respond well when things started to go bad. I think
against ASU.
Yeah, I mean, he played pretty well. I think that he's going to find a lot of money somewhere. Again, I just think these top. Where is he in the transporter ranking? 6? Like, that's like $3-4 million. I don't know if I want ASU spending that kind of money on a guy like him.
I think that's fair. I think he's an NFL quarterback, man. I think he's a really good quarterback. I could totally talk myself into it. I agree with Z-Man in the chat. Says I want a dual threat. I do think having a dual threat would be a really great option if they can still throw the ball. But as far as like pure passers in the portal, I think there's an argument that Hoover is close to number one, if not number one. He is got the arm talent and the accuracy of a true NFL quarterback. I've seen some buzz for him to end up in Tennessee, which I do think is an interesting fit for sure.
That feels right.
I don't think, I agree with you. I don't think any of these Big 12 quarterbacks stay in the Big 12 except for Sorsby, I think stays at Tech. I think Rocco's gone to Penn State, and I think Hoover's gone. I see Tennessee or maybe a mid-tier SEC team for Hoover, and I think he could get that $3-4 million. I did mention to somebody earlier in chat, I think it was Oso, that wanted to talk about DJ Lagway. I know that we kind of transitioned away from other quarterbacks. What do you think about DJ Lagway as a potential QB for ASU?
I think that I have some stock in him because I have a really cool pink card of his.
Fair enough.
No, I'm not the biggest fan. I think he's got awesome. He's going to test really well RAS. I can tell you that much. He can throw the ball very far. He is hard to tackle. He can run. He is also not the best quarterback I've watched in this transfer portal class, and I don't think he's top 10.
I think he's got the potential to be, but this would be a huge potential swing, and he would still want non-potential money. I think that's the problem with Lagway.
You know what? DJ Lagway is Bo Nix. Give me DJ Lagway. I just flipped. I want DJ Lagway on.
Wow,
on
I love
ASU.
watching you talk yourself into it in real time.
It just takes one little neuron to fire that wasn't firing all day, and I'm like, okay, I want him now. And then tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and be like, no.
I think what's interesting about any of these quarterbacks that are kind of projects, right, or that have clear deficiencies and flaws, is what I mentioned in the beginning of the show. You have the ultimate wild card. You have Kenny Dillingham. You have a guy who's every quarterback that he's coached has turned into gold.
Yeah.
Somebody said, we need a sleeper like Leavitt before the hype. Can we get that for 1.5 to 2 mil?
That neuron died again, by the way.
Oh, you don't want him?
No, because I just thought about the price tag is going to command again.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think that's where we can kind of wrap things up here, Shane, is let's maybe decide who is the best of all worlds, not the best of both worlds, but the best of all worlds, has shown that they can play. I love it when the thumbs up pops up on the screen. They've shown that they can play at college football level. So, not just a project, but isn't going to command a huge price tag. So maybe not the craziest amount of production or the guy like a DJ Lagway who's going to have the crazy RAS score. And then also price tag. Who can find a way to be maybe the most intermediate price tag that's not going to bankrupt ASU and stop them from building the trenches in these other positions that they need? Is there a name to you that kind of strikes the mold there that we've talked about today?
I mean, Chiles probably.
Yeah, that's Chiles and Colton Joseph are maybe those two names that I keep on gravitating towards.
Yeah. What about Ashton Daniels? Chat, how do we feel about Ashton Daniels? Do we like Ashton Daniels?
How do you feel about Ashton Daniels?
I think he's okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's so easy to say the ODU kid. It's so easy to say Colton Joseph.
It is. I mean, I think because look, Colton Joseph will certainly be a player who is sought after in the portal, but I don't think he is. I think Byrum Brown is going to be more sought after than him. I think he'll have a higher price tag than him. I think that as far as, where he played might also hamper what he's able to ask for. I think USF has had a little bit more of a publicly successful season as well. And Byrum Brown, again, has better stats than Colton Joseph. I think he strikes a good balance of he'll demand money for sure. He will have shown that he can play at a good college football level, dual threat quarterback, played against good competition this year, but not really in the spotlight. But also, I think he has that next step that he could hit. He is younger than Byrum Brown, who I would be thrilled with as well. But I think less to develop and more of a price tag there with Brown. And then going into today, I wasn't thinking that much about Aiden Chiles over at Michigan State. He was kind of one of those guys. I'm like, yeah, maybe sure he's an option. The more I think about him, the more fascinated I am with his potential and with what alignment he can do. Hashtag alignment. But also with just the fact that, statistically speaking, I think he has the best potential to stats ratio that we've talked about today, which means that his price tag will likely be on the lower end. If Colton Joseph, if Byrum Brown demand this out of world price tag $4-5 million, which who knows? I don't think they will, but what if they try? And Chiles is 2.5, 3. I'm rolling with Chiles in that sense, which is not something that I thought I would have said a week ago.
Let's say Erik Ruby has $10 million to spend on ASU's football roster. Would you rather spend $4 million, $3 to $5 million on a quarterback, or $3 to $5 million on, or like $1 million on a quarterback, and the rest of that money goes to everything else, and you only get like a little scrub, and you basically saying you roll the dice with Fetty.
Ooh. If I have $10 million, we're not rolling the dice with Fetty. And I love Fetty, and I think Fetty's going to be the quarterback here in a year or two. I'm spending $3 million on a quarterback because you still have $7 million left. I'm not going to go up to that $5 million range. I think Kenny can do a lot with that $3 million range, but we saw how important it was for Sam Leavitt to be on the field for this team. I'm spending $3 million on the quarterback, and then give me an extra $3 million to spend on offensive line and weapons, and then give me $4 million to revamp the defense.
And
That's kind of how I'm going to
give me $2 million to just play with. I can go buy.
Yeah, I mean,
can
I'll
go,
take $2
like
million
build a
on
bigger
that.
sandcastle or something.
Yeah, I'll take $2 million. I also look, I don't hate Dylan Raiola as much as the next, but I do think he'll be asking for more money than what he's worth. Plus, he's not a dual threat quarterback. What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments below about
Hear me out,
quarterbacks
chat.
here at ASU. Huh?
I said, hear me out, chat. You go get Jaden Davis from Michigan. You give him $1 million, and then you spend the rest of your money on the rest of the roster. Because the closer and closer we get to the season, the more and more I think that when Kenny was smirking, he was talking about Jake Fetty. I think he's going to be really good.
I think Fetty will be good too. Maybe he is talking about Fetty. That's a big gamble to take, but if anybody's going to take it, and I'm going to trust them to take it, it will be Kenny Dillingham. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know down in the comments below who you think Arizona State should target and should stay away from in the transfer portal and why for all of those. We hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully, if you've been celebrating Hanukkah, that's been going great for you as well. Any holiday that you're celebrating around this season. What?
I hope you had a great Hanukkah. It's over.
Had a great Hanukkah. Whatever holiday you're celebrating this season, if you're just spending time with family, whatever rows your boat, I hope that your boat is being rowed well and that you are having a great time as we approach 2026. But before we get to 2026, got a bowl game to talk about. New Year's Eve, the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Shane's hyped. Totree's hyped. I'm hyped. We're all hyped for ASU to take on the ACC champion Duke. Friday's show, which is our next show, we will be previewing that game and talking about who the hell is even going to play for Arizona State. So make sure you tune in on Friday. Enjoy the next 2 days. We will be off. We appreciate Totree for all that he does. He's currently on vacation. He will be back before the Sun Bowl. Appreciate all of our diehards as well, continuing to hold it down. We'll be jumping in the diehard Discord and talking over the next couple of days. So in the meantime, you can follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. That's on Twitter and on Instagram for all your breaking news when it comes to Arizona State. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. You can follow the Deli Man on the screen at Shane Dief.
The next quarterback of Arizona State is Erik Ruby.
Wow, we are screwed. In the meantime, go Devils, and I got to figure out how to play quarterback.
We all silly like the mayor.